Hi guys, I'm gonna react to season 5 episode 14. So we're on episode 14 of The Walking Dead season 5 and the title is Spend. So birds are chirping. We're in Alexandria. It's quiet and they're showing there's Gabriel. He looks frustrated. I'll show you a quick clip here. He reads what is he doing? He puts something in between the Bible pages and he looks over and, Father, we are so blessed to have you. Please enjoy Rosemary. That's sweet. They gave him strawberries. He's tearing a page out of the Bible. Why is he doing that? I don't like that character. Who here are fans of Father Gabriel? He's so self-absorbed. That's why I don't like him. He's selfish and he's self-absorbed. He's ripping out the pages of the Bible. How dare you? He's so angry. He's angry at himself, but he takes it out on other people. Do you know anyone like that? The theme song for The Walking Dead will always be iconic. Someone just walked by my car really close and scared me. Yeah, you're angry at yourself, but instead of being accountable and addressing, okay, why did I do this? I have to do better, change my ways or whatever. Instead of doing that, you get angry at other people and you take out your frustrations on other people. Hey, Daryl, looking good on your bike. You know, you take the frustration out on other people unfairly. Gabriel is like that. Noah is talking to Deanna's husband. They're talking about architecture and building up Alexandria. Daryl is cool. He looked cool on that bike. I have to admit. He's a cool dude. Roscoe says he finally watched the whole series a year ago. Now just need to catch up on the second season of the new shows. Oh, okay. Did you watch The Ones Who Live? That's my favorite. I loved that series so much. Everyone's hoping for season 2. I would like to see a season 2 because I miss them, but I don't want a season 2 because it was so perfect for me. The ending was perfect and I don't want them to mess it up. I don't want anybody to die. I don't want anybody to do anything out of characters. And the writers, when they don't know what to do or the story is ended and they're trying to push it or stretch it out, they end up destroying the show. They do really stupid things trying to shock the audience and it makes it, I just don't want them to spoil it. Which one of the series was the spin-offs was your favorite, Roscoe? Yes, I love The Ones Who Live, but I agree it was the best way to end their arc and I think Andrew Lincoln is done with it. Yeah, actually, he did say, he did an interview recently because he's currently, I paused it everyone, so the show is not getting away from us. But I'm really interested in talking with you guys. You guys are so cool. Andrew Lincoln, he's currently in the West End. West End is the equivalent to Broadway, the British equivalent to Broadway in New York. And he's currently doing a play with Alicia Vikander called The Lady by the Sea or The Lady in the Sea or something like that. And he did an interview for it and they asked him about coming back to the Walking Dead universe and he said there are talks about it. So I do know that AMC wants Andrew and Denai to come back for sure because it was their most successful series. It was their most successful show in AMC history apart from The Walking Dead. Actually, The Walking Dead was the most successful show ratings-wise that AMC had for the cable network. But for their app, AMC Plus, because The Walking Dead is already over and most people watched it on the cable network, the app, The Ones Who Live, turned out to be their most successful show, period, even more than The Walking Dead on AMC. And I don't even think AMC Plus shows The Walking Dead because they licensed it out to Netflix. And I think Netflix has to finish their licensing run of it before they take it back. Just like AMC licensed out The Want to Live to Netflix, but they only gave them a year and they took it back to the app because it's their most successful show in their history on their app. So they want Andrew and Denai back terribly, but Andrew did say he would not return, period, to Rick Grimes to the universe unless Denai and Gimple wrote something for them to do. So he's put all his trust in Denai and Scott Gimple, and he had such a great time creating the ones who live with them. He said he cannot go back. He cannot go back to just subpar or ordinary or average writing. He wants to work with them again, with Scott Gimple and Denai, and that's the only way he would return. And he said it would have to be something they wrote. And then Denai said she'll never say never, but the story has to be necessary. It can't be just let's do it for doing's sake. She said it has to be a necessary and a story that needs to be telling. And as you said, Roscoe, the series wrapped up their story so well. What could be necessary? You know, you and I could come up with ideas like, remember General Beale had factions in different communities, so there may even be factions in the Commonwealth and Alexandria that are loyal to him and want to get back that unit, because it was just a small unit. It wasn't the whole CRM. It was just the small unit that were doing these diabolical things. For me, as a writer, I would write that the CRM, that the whole Republic wants Rick Grimes to lead, to be the president of the new rebuilt civilization in North America. They convince him to do it, and the different factions in the CRM, the spies that they put in different communities, start planning to plot to take him and everything down. I think that could be a good thing. Andrew said he would only return if Scott and Denai wrote something, and Denai said it would have to be something extraordinary, but I do know AMC is trying to get them back. They're trying everything, but they're both busy and doing other stuff, so we'll see. It's never say never. But he said that's the only way he would return, if Denai and Scott wrote it. And Denai said if she sees a story possibility that seems necessary, then she would do it. Let's get back to the episode. Abraham is looking in the mirror with his very red hair. Do you know the guy that plays Abraham is a natural blonde? He's a blonde, but he dyed his hair fire red for the series. And Rosita is watching him. Why is he looking like that in the mirror? Look at him. There he is. It's a fire red hair, but he's a blondie. And there's Rosita, but he seems conflicted. You see, when you stare in the mirror a lot, that means you're conflicted, I think. I don't look in the mirror a lot.
They're consistent in appearance across manufacturers.
The gang is getting ready for a run. It's Deanna's son, can't remember his name, Noah. Eugene is giving him something, and I think Glenn is going to be in the group. So far, it's just the guy and Noah. So we'll see who else goes on the run. Oh, so you've only seen season 1 of Dead City. So, okay. Roscoe, you have season 2 to watch and so forth. Okay. The Walking Dead is legendary. I love it. It's a great series. Who's your favorite character? I know you love Negan. Is Negan your favorite character, Roscoe? Mine are Rick Grimes and Michonne Grimes and their babies. I love Carl, I love Judith, I love RJ. So the Grimes family. I'm a total Grimes family girl.
Who did you talking to Holly last night? What's her story?
So Glenn is going on the trip also.
Here, Dad. I'm supposed to be saying that to you.
Okay, he says bye to Deanna and his father. Glenn says bye to Maggie. Remember how Glenn and Maggie started? That was out of nowhere, as they call them, hookup. Uh-oh, they're playing music. I have to mute that because copyright. I think Michonne is my favorite. She came from the least, was on her own, really had the biggest arc and growth. As for Negan, I don't truly like him as a character. He's a horrible person. Oh, okay. So you're a Michonne fan. See, you have taste, Roscoe. You are a smart guy and you have taste. You see the strength and character growth in Michonne. So I rock with you, Roscoe. It tells me you use this. Not many viewers use this, and as you said that Negan is a horrible guy, a horrible person. They've tried a lot to redeem him, but it's not organic.
Amy Larson.
It could have been organic, but it's not, because they have him saying that he's not sorry for the things first they're like trying to make him a goody two shoes or have him rescuing people just to get people on side, and then his fans are like, no, we want the tough and couldn't care less misogynistic Negan. So they go back and said, yeah, he doesn't apologize, he doesn't think what he did is wrong. So yeah, and I'm like, there cannot be redemption without accountability and repentance. If the leopard doesn't change his spots, it's still a leopard. The writers are all over the place with him, and why his arc isn't organic is because the writers want to keep him around. They like him. So instead of writing the character true to form, or if you're going to do a redemption arc, do a true redemption arc, they can't, because they keep vacillating. I'm a Christian. There can be redemption for someone, but there has to be repentance. That's what some people don't get. They think, oh, all is forgiven. You did all these terrible things. Don't worry about it. All is forgiven. Just go on. No, that's not how it works. There has to be accountability. There has to be repentance. What's the use if you're not repenting of something? You're just going to continue doing the same thing over and over again. And that's the thing. The writers haven't given Negan a true redemption arc, yet they want us to accept that he's been redeemed without doing the work to show that he actually is redeemed, that he has repented. And they vacillated back to that he doesn't care, he's not repenting. So the writing is all over the place. It's inorganic, just because the writers probably the producers like him and want to keep him around. So it's just not authentic and organic. And so that's why I can't get behind the character. Villains, I enjoy villains because it's the good versus evil, and it tells a classic story, a story as old as time. It makes the story have conflict, and it's enjoyable to watch the good guys overcome and defeat the evil. So bad guys, villains have their place. What's really confusing and unfortunate for The Walking Dead is that the producers force the writers to try to make evil triumph and evil celebrated over the good. And because some fans like Negan, and that doesn't make any sense, so in Dead City he's like that, no regret, and even seemed to be trying to convince Maggie she would have done the same. Exactly. They wrote Michonne saying the same thing, saying, oh, if I was in a different position, if I'd met Negan first, she would have been a savior and she would have done what he's done, and they're similar, they're almost the same type of people, blah blah blah. They've tried to redeem him through putting the onus and a false comparative to make Rick the bad guy, to make Michonne the bad guy, to make Maggie the bad guy, to make everybody but Negan accountable for what he has done, right? I've seen fans say over and over, oh, well, Rick started it first. He went and killed the saviors in their sleep. So Negan was very benevolent in just killing 2 of his people. He was going to kill 1, but they didn't obey the rules, and he ended up killing Daryl. Came out of sort and he killed Glenn for it. So it's really Daryl's fault. They've put the blame on everyone else. What people love to conveniently swipe aside and push under the rug is that the saviors attacked Rick's group first. They confronted Daryl, Abraham, and Sasha, and they were going to kill them. And because Daryl took care of them with a bazooka, they escaped that, and then they went on to find out that this group under the leadership of Negan was terrorizing other communities, enslaving other communities by force. So it was only a matter of time before they went to Alexandria and did the same. They attacked Alexandria first, not the town but the people. They were going to kill Daryl, Abraham, and Sasha unprovoked. The thing that I blame Rick for is that he didn't wait and get more intel. He just went by what Hilltop said. He should have investigated, watched that outpost, watched where they go, see if they're connected to any other entity, and see what their operations was. Then I do think Rick would have tried to take them out, but not just one outpost, but they probably would have planned better and being ready for them when they came after them. But they were just blinded. They thought they had taken care of the problem, but they were a problem. They were going to kill Alexandrians. They were going to kill Rick's group. It's just that Rick's group got the upper hand on them. So no, Negan and the Saviors started the war, and it was a war bent on oppressing and enslaving communities through force, terror, and killing and murder. So no. This false equivalency of Rick is the same as Negan, and actually Negan was in the right and Rick was in the wrong. So Negan is a good guy, and if we were following Negan from the beginning, we would have preferred him over Rick. Hogwash. I would never watch a show that's canonizing someone who is going around oppressing and enslaving people. No way would I canonize a person like that. Never. I would never follow them. I would never become a fan of it. And The Walking Dead would not have been the juggernaut show it was if that was the premise. So I cannot stand those straw man arguments when I hear it, because I never hear people come back saying the truth. The Savior started the war against Rick, and the Saviors were actually under the leadership of Negan, were oppressing and enslaving and murdering communities. They were acting like the mafia. We won't attack you if you forcefully give us, you work for us, get anything we want from you, or we'll kill you. Nah. The Walking Dead would not be the juggernaut. As a matter of fact, when the producers and the writers switched to the focus of the show being about Negan, after season 7, the ratings plummeted for The Walking Dead, and it never came back. It just, season after season, Negan not being taken care of and them holding on to Negan, the show just nosedived and never recovered. And they didn't learn. They didn't actually absorb and listen to what the ratings were telling them. And they held on to this character to the very end, and it just annihilated the show. It destroyed the show. The show was never the same again. Even today, they're still dragging that dead carcass because for some reason they love this character. They love the actor. Create another show for him. Create a The Walking Dead show if you love the actor so much. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I don't know him. He has a lot of fans. They seem to love him. Create a show for him. But why would you destroy your most successful show? Such a juggernaut of a franchise for one character. It made no sense to me. None. Roscoe said Rick doesn't enjoy doing what he has to do. Negan does. Exactly. Rick kills out of necessity. There's one time he killed, and I totally disagreed with him, but I think it's due to his trauma of letting people go, letting people survive, and it coming back to bite him, where those people turned and killed his loved ones, like what happened in the prison with Lori. I think that still played on his mind. It caused his psychosis at the prison, his break in reality. It caused his psychosis when he entered Alexandria. All that drama with Jesse, it wasn't lust, it wasn't love, it wasn't even infatuation. It was him reliving that trauma with Lori. Jesse reminded Rick of Lori and his guilt about what Lori and Shane kept telling him, that he has to behave differently. He has to put Lori and Carl first, and he can't be about community. He can't be like he was prior to the apocalypse, where he served his community and he had to be selfish and just about Lori and all of that. They accused him of not being able to keep Lori safe, and Lori passed, and since then he has been trying to relive and redo that period, trying to do it Shane's way. So that was what the arc with Jesse was about. He actually used Jesse. He used Jesse to do over what he did not do in the past with Lori. Because when he met Jesse telegraphed she was into him, but he saw Lori. It's like he saw a ghost. And she started cutting his hair like how Lori would cut her and Carl's hair. She wore the flannel shirt like how Lori wore the flannel shirt. Living in a house, a community Lori wanted to live in. They would drive around and go and look at it because they wanted to live there. So he was reliving that journey, that past, and the guilt of his past. So that arc with Jesse, every time he got around her, he had a very far away look. The first time he met her, he was so depressed. He was so sad. And then he just goes into a fugue, F-U-G-U-E, fugue state. He's like in a different reality around her because she reminds him of Lori and his guilt about Lori. He was like, okay, I get to do this over in a sense that I get to protect Lori this time around. So that was what that arc was about. It was very clumsily written by the writers, in my opinion. I don't know why I got off on that tangent. I don't know why I got into the Jesse and whatever tangent, but oh yeah, the reason why Rick killed people when it wasn't necessary. He has that PTSD. But as you said, Roscoe, the majority of the time Rick doesn't kill because he wants to and he doesn't enjoy doing it. Far from it. Versus Negan, who created a mafia society of oppression, murder, killing, all of that stuff, theft, slavery, all of that. He enjoyed killing Abraham and Glenn. He relished in it. That's a definition of a psychopath. He's a sociopath and he's a psychopath. He's not an anti-hero as his fans, the producers and the writers have been trying to portray him as. Negan is nowhere near an anti-hero. And we would not have followed his journey, and Walking Dead would not be the iconic show it became if Negan was the one we were following from the start. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't have been watching that show. One episode and I would have been like, no, over, don't care. So let's get back to the show. They're in the van, they're going on a run. It's Noah, Glenn, Tara, one of Deanna's son, and I don't know who else. Let's see. Negan is a fool's idea of what strength looks like. Oh my gosh, you spot on. You hit the hammer on the head. Perfect. Yeah, he is what someone who has no idea of what strength is, of what honor is, what integrity is. Roscoe said Negan is a fool's idea of what strength looks like. You got it, Roscoe. See, I told you, you were a right thinking man. You are smart. You are wise. My channel is getting lit. My channel has the best thinkers, the brightest thinkers on the internet. The people on my channel, they are sharp. I love conversing. I love interacting with you guys. I love reading your posts because you're so freaking intelligent. You guys are so intelligent. I love it. I love it. Okay, so we have Jessie in her garage with a whole bunch of metal on the floor. I guess that was her sculptor. And Rick is passing by. He's guarding the community. The Glenn group just left to go scavenging, and Rick is on his patrol. So let's hear what he says to Jessie. He says, hey. She says, hey. Yeah. What happened?
Came in here and did this.
So someone tore apart her owl statue.
You got any enemies? You know anybody who hates Al?
Okay, so you find the person who did this and then what?
You ever heard about the broken window theory?
What's the broken window theory,
It boils
Rick?
down to this. You keep the windows intact, keep society intact.
This was an owl, Rick.
Yeah, he's asking her if she has any enemies, and she said nothing like this happens here and whatever. She's laughing. She's flirting with him because from the very beginning, it was clear she's so into him. You know, she's like, what are you going to do? He said, I'll look into it. And she's like, oh, it's just an owl. It's no big deal. And he says something about, have you heard of the broken window theory? If a window stays intact, society stays intact or something like that. What do you think he's saying with that? He's saying if a window is intact and all of a sudden it's broken for a reason. Something is going on. They're either trying to get in or they're sending a message. So I agree with him there. So her dismissing it was like, oh, no, it's just an owl. And he said, well, I have to do something yet. He was made the constable. And since nothing is going on in the neighborhood, actually nothing is going on yet, there's a zombie apocalypse. The world has come to an end outside. No wonder he thinks this place is so not real. I'm going to investigate it. And so he leaves and she is like looking down, coquettish or whatever. She's feeling him, but that look down could also be that she has an idea of who did it. And we know who did it. Those who have watched the show before knows who did it. She was trying to present to Rick a reality that isn't there. Just like Rick is saying this place is not real. While he's saying that, he's also playing games in that whenever he's around Jesse, he's not in reality either, because he's using her as a substitute, an avatar for Lori. He's going to protect Lori again. This is his chance to show that he can protect Lori, as Lori and Shane told him he couldn't. So whenever he's around this woman, it represents Rick's state of mind, his PTSD. So he's going to play games that don't reflect true reality, and she's putting out airs that don't reflect her true reality. It's a mess. Jesse's a mess. Rick is a mess around Jesse, and not because of lust or infatuation or love. He is going through PTSD, and the strong emotions that came out around her, the depression, the sadness, the recall of his life before, of the domesticity with Lori and Carl, all of that, whenever he's around Jesse, brings that back to Rick. So he's playing games. If you're going to notice that in the future, in scenes around Michonne, in scenes around Daryl, in scenes around Carol, he doesn't play in that false reality. He actually addresses the real world. He sees what's going on, and the true him is present. So Michonne, Daryl, Carol, Glenn, all of that presents reality for Rick, the real Rick. The real Rick comes out around them, and he behaves and acts in a reality that's real, the real world with the zombie apocalypse. And around Jesse, he plays games. He goes into the nostalgia, the feeling she brings back about Lori, and the domesticity of his past life, the remembrance of that life. She brings him into a false world. It's actually like a ghost world. She represents the ghost of Lori, and he's playing ghost unreal games whenever he's around her. She represents his, I wouldn't say his insanity, but his PTSD. He doesn't deal in reality around Jesse. And when he's around Michonne, he deals in reality. And around Michonne, he's trying to hide. He's trying to hide that he doesn't believe in the place. And the only reason he's in Alexandria is because of Michonne. He wants to please her. He wants her to be okay. He wants her to be happy. And she wants it, not just herself. She wants it for Rick. She wants it for Glenn. She wants it especially for the babies, for Carl and Judith. She is in Alexandria for them because she knows they needed to get out from out there. They were becoming feral. So he knows this. He knows this is what she wants. He doesn't want to be there because to him, it's not reality. It's not safe, but he's doing it for her. So when he's around her, he doesn't hide that he disagrees with her. He doesn't hide that he doesn't like it, but he keeps letting her know he's trying. He's trying for her. So the real Rick is present around her. And with Carol and Daryl, he lets them know he's not with it. He doesn't want to be here. This is not safe. And one way or another, things are going to go bad, or he's going to take over the town. Because if things go bad, or if anyone in the town does something to threaten the town, he's going to take it from them. And the reason he's going to take it from them, it's not because he wants it. He doesn't even want to be there. He's going to take it from them because Michonne wants it, and he's going to give her whatever she wants. So in essence, this arc is a love story for Rick and Michonne, but on the surface, they're playing like he's in a triangle with Pete and Jesse, and that he wants Jesse. No, Pete and Jesse represent Shane and Lori for Rick. And that's what, when I said this arc went over a lot of people's head. And I blame the writers too, because it could have been written much better. There are reasons why I think they went the way they did. I won't get into it here with this episode, but it's not what some people say. Oh, Rick was so into Jesse that he didn't see or want Michonne. And when Jesse died, Michonne was just a rebound. No. The only reason Rick is not with Michonne is because Rick thinks Michonne doesn't want him. Rick tried in season 4, tried to give her a hint that he was into her. He wanted to spend time with her. And Michonne was like, no, she still thinks they're just friends, family. She loves him. That wasn't in her head. She was just, I have to find the governor. I have to get rid of the governor. She wasn't thinking in that sense. Rick was falling for her, and Rick made a tentative move towards her, and he thought he was rejected, which he wasn't. So Rick is not going to try to make her feel awkward. In essence, Rick thinks he's in an unrequited love story. So not to make her feel awkward, he doesn't approach her in that way. He keeps it strictly platonic because he doesn't want her to leave him and Carl, because he offered to her to raise Carl with him. And that's why she lives in the house with them. She's not a babysitter. Who do you see babysitting? You know, people are like, oh yeah, she's there just to babysit the kids. No, Michonne goes off and does whatever she wants. He's always asking Olivia or somebody else, Carl, to babysit Judith. Michonne is not a babysitter. She's actually a partner with Rick, raising his child in a platonic relationship, which Rick does not want it to be platonic. And Michonne has no idea that Rick thinks of her this way. And she's not thinking that way because she is in survival mode. And that's why during this arc, she's like in a fog, and people kept asking her, what do you want, Michonne? Is there anything else you want? And she's like, I don't know. I've stopped fighting. I've stopped surviving, and I don't know what I want. And it's for her to gradually come to the realization that she has a family and this is what she wants. Open her eyes to the man that she's literally in a partnership raising kids with. Hello, that both of them love each other. Rick is keeping it platonic because he doesn't want to run her away. And Michonne just needs to wake up out of the fog she's in. So no, it wasn't that Rick chose Jesse and ignored Michonne. Far from it. As we're going to see in future reactions, how Rick is around Michonne. He's still, oh my gosh, just trying to keep Alexandria. He's fighting to keep Alexandria because she wants it. That's what it's about. I'll show you points throughout the arc, the seasons, where this becomes clearer and clearer that this really is a story about Rick fighting his demons, the demons of his past, while trying to hold on to his sanity. And he's fighting this fight because he's somewhere he doesn't feel safe. It's somewhere he doesn't want to be. And the only reason he's doing it is because of Michonne. Rick is in this predicament and this fight for his sanity because he's doing something out of love. He's doing it for Michonne. And Michonne is doing it out of love. Love for Rick, Carl, Judith, Len, Maggie, Noah, Sasha, all of them. She's doing it for all of them. And most importantly, for the love of her little family, the little family she's making with Rick, for Carl and Judith. So let me see what you guys said. I think in his mind that everything starts small. This is from Roscoe. One broken window turns to two, etc. And it looks like people don't care. You're right. See, that's why I asked, because you brought the other angle that I wasn't even looking at. Things start small. Great point, Roscoe. Oh my gosh. Rick was right that it wasn't safe because the people were so insulated they didn't appreciate all the danger around, least of all the zombies. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, all of them agree that the people need to actually wake up and come into the reality of the world that they're in. It's a zombie apocalypse. It's brunch on Sunday. Let's, la la la, live like everything is safe. The reason they felt so safe is because that area was deserted, because they had evacuated the most of the people out of that town. There weren't a lot of zombies around because there weren't a lot of people around. So they had a false sense of safety. They really didn't know what was really going on in the world. Okay, so thank you for that point, Roscoe. Okay, let's get back to the episode. Am I going to finish this? They're at the warehouse.
That door's the fastest way in and out. Already got one. It's called going out the front.
Oh, that dweeb is there. I don't like that character.
What's up?
Oh, this is an episode that I just remembered. So Eugene did go along with them. I thought Michonne had gone on this run, so I got it mixed up. No.
So you're aware, I'm on record as stating that I should not be here. You will know that I'm not combat ready.
What do you guys think of Tara? I didn't think anything of her one way or the other, but I came to dislike the character later in the seasons, especially after Rick passed, how she treated Michonne. She treated Michonne like Michonne did something to her, and Michonne didn't do anything to Tara. She was so hostile against Michonne. She was even stealing Michonne's stuff and acting as if she had a right to steal Michonne's stuff. Like she had a right to ownership of Michonne's stuff. I didn't get that. Maybe I wasn't paying attention to that arc, but I became a person that wasn't a fan of Tara. Oh, Aiden. Aiden is the character's name. Aiden, Deanna's son. I keep forgetting what his name is. I only remembered Spencer. Okay, Roscoe said, I found Tara more annoying than anything. Only time she was tolerable was when she wasn't the focal point. I agree. I don't know why the writers love Tara so much. Because, yeah, she just... There's so many good characters to focus on. Why are we wasting time focusing on Tara? And she got so bitter and resentful against Michonne for no reason. I was just like, what? Get this character out of my face, please. Oh, they're in the warehouse and Glenn is telling them something is up. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, they came across a whole bunch of walkers, but they're behind fence. It's dangerous, but it's not. Aiden looks really scared. He's seen walkers before. Why is he so scared? She was a fantastic character in the graphic novels and the novels, which overall were very different than the show. Do you know I checked out some of the graphic novels while the series was going because it was still being written, and I didn't really like the graphic novels. I found the writing very immature. He created some great characters. Let me pause it for a second. Rick Grimes, Michonne, Carl. He created some good characters, but gosh, some of the writing was very childish in my opinion and misogynistic. So I actually prefer the TV show version. Some of the comic fans thought Andrea was such a great character. Most people don't like Andrea in the show for good reasons, but Andrea was just, to me, I don't see anything great about her in the comics. She was just Rick's girlfriend towards the latter part. She was Dale's girlfriend and then Rick's girlfriend in the latter episodes, and she was a sharpshooter, but other than that, I didn't see anything great about Andrea. Well, Robert Kirkman, yes, that's his name. And then Robert Kirkman killed Rick Grimes. He actually said it was Rick Grimes' story. And then towards the latter part of the comic, he changed it to Carl's story. A lot of people love to say it's Carl's story. Robert Kirkman said it because I remember keeping up with the comics during that time and listening to Robert Kirkman's interview. He always claimed it was a zombie show that would never end. It would be like a serial kept going. And he said it was a Rick Grimes story. It was Rick Grimes' story. I think he started changing his tune. And now, in hindsight, hearing a lot of the things that happened on the show with the producing and the Andrew Lincoln wanting to leave early because of personal family reasons, I think they panicked. And they're like, okay, we can't keep the show centered around Rick because if Andrew Lincoln leaves, the audience will leave with him. So that's why they started pushing other characters so much. They invested so much in Daryl, they invested so much in Negan, they invested so much with Carol, and Robert Kirkman also started flipping the switch, the focus onto Carl, and then he started giving interviews that it was Carl's story, but that came later. He always said it was Rick's story, and I think he switched because he saw that Andrew Lincoln was going to leave, and then the focus would no longer be on Rick Grimes. So how could he keep the comic going? Carl was the future. He was Rick Grimes' son, so that made sense to switch it to him, but no, it was always Rick's story. And then he made made the fatal mistake. He killed Rick Grimes, thinking that the fans would rally behind Carl because now he's saying Carl is the future. Carl is the future. Well, the same thing happened in the comics that happened in the show. People lost interest because it is Rick Grimes' story. We follow this guy waking up from a coma in the zombie apocalypse, looking for his family, for his wife and child. We bonded with Rick. We saw the world through Rick's eyes. Rick became family, So, and Rick was a decent man. He had a moral center. It made it okay to invest in this character because at the core of it, he was a decent man. He was a good character. Killing Rick Grimes was the end of the comic. The interest in the comics nosedived. It just petered out and he just ended the comic. He went against what he said. It would be the series that would never end. He ended it because he ended Rick Grimes. That's why I was so afraid that show would take the same tact. They were so invested in Negan and Daryl that I was like, oh, they're delusional if they think they can kill Rick Grimes. And if they didn't kill Rick Grimes, at least there was hope. People, even if they didn't follow the series anymore, in the back of their minds, they're like, okay, is Rick Grimes, did they find him? Whatever. The interest would still be there. Killing Rick Grimes, if they do that in the Walking Dead universe on a show, it will kill it. It will kill it dead. Look what happened after The Ones Who Live. Interest in the other spin-offs died. The other spin-offs, the ratings dived because Rick Grimes came back. They were watching the other spin-offs hoping to hear something about Rick Grimes. But then when Rick Grimes spin-off came up and we found out what was happening and his story was resolved, people were satisfied. They're like, okay. So we don't need to watch Dead City or the Daryl show because we were watching it mainly to hear if they found where Rick was or they mentioned Rick. But now we know because of The Ones Who Live, the subsequent seasons of those shows died. So what it shows you that yes, Negan has fans, Daryl has fans, Daryl have tons of fans, but what made them interesting is their interactions around Rick Grimes. It wasn't just based on them. Daryl by himself is a good character, but Daryl isolated from The Walking Dead, which The Walking Dead is Rick Grimes, makes Daryl an, as the young people say, a mid character. The interest just isn't there. And it's the same thing for Negan. People are like, oh, Negan is this. And the producers think Jeffrey Dean Morgan, the sun rises and sets on him. They love that guy so much. But guess what? People don't watch The Walking Dead for Negan. The majority of fans that watch the Negan character watch him in relation to Rick Grimes. Rick Grimes is a sun and all the planets revolve around him. The show is Rick Grimes and every other character revolves around it. So they're not going to be successful without some prospect of Rick Grimes. And I think that's why so many Negan and Daryl fans resent Michonne, because they love Negan and they love Daryl. They want Rick to be about those characters because the interest is in Rick. And if Rick is about those characters, he will bring the audience with him to actually care about what's going on with their favorites. They are so resentful that Rick is about Michonne and his babies. They want Rick to not care about Michonne and to care about Daryl. They even want Rick to care about Negan, which makes no sense. Why would Rick care about Negan? At least Daryl is his brother, his dear friend. But Daryl's action caused him to lose out on 8 years of his children's lives. 7 years, 8 years, whatever. So there's some resolution that should happen there before Rick is anything about Daryl. Rick is about his family, his wife and his children, which is it's supposed to be. So they resent the heck out of Michonne. They resent the heck out of RJ because they have their favorite characters and they want Rick to be only about their favorite characters. They don't want Rick to be about his family. So Rick is a tool for them. They just want to use Rick to get everybody's eyes on their favorite character. So if you see a lot of hate against Michonne and Rick and Michonne's child, it's because of that. They even use Judith as a tool. Oh, Judith loves Daryl and Daryl loves Judith, and they try to push RJ out of that. It's about keeping... Khaled is like, what are you yapping about? I'm yapping about The Walking Dead, Khaled. That was funny. I do yap a lot. Oh my God. I'm yapping about The Walking Dead. I'm doing a reaction. I'm supposed to be doing a reaction to The Walking Dead, but I'm yapping about a lot of stuff. So you are right. What are you yapping about? Thanks for that check, Khaled. Roscoe say fans get wild if you change an actor for a character. So yes, if you kill the focal point, it's done. Yeah, it's done. Rick Grimes is a Walking Dead. So Khaled, I'm gonna stop yapping and get back to reacting to the show. That was funny. So they're scavenging. They're in a warehouse. Uh-oh. No. He's shooting at a zombie that has a, what do you call it, helmet on. He has armor on. It's the gun isn't going to go through that. Oh, he shot. Glenn was telling him to stop because the soldier had a pin, an explosive pin, and he kept shooting and he shot the pin and everything blew up. So that's how he got stuck. You see, I didn't remember this episode. I just remembered the end result, but I didn't know what happened. Oh, and he got impaled on something. The explosion threw him and he got impaled. Oh, and the cage got open. The fence that the walkers were behind because of the explosion opened. So now the walkers are everywhere, making the whole thing dangerous. So they can't even help Aiden. Oh, Tara has a head wound. There's Carol. It's the first time I'm seeing her in this episode.
I swear to God, answer my question. Do you have any more cookies? How'd you make your party?
Wow. Carol really messed with that little boy's head. Okay. So they're going in to go and save Aiden. I noticed the frost. So they're filming this in winter because they're in t-shirts. They must be so cold, but they have to pretend like it's summer. They have an invasion of walkers and someone fell out of the, yikes. She fell really far out of the tractor. I don't know, but her leg is twisted or broken. So the rest are afraid to go and help her, but Abraham runs in, bowls them down and grabs her. And they're surrounded. Come on, Abraham, you can do that. He puts her in that truck and he's going to take them on by himself. Oh, that was smart. He slipped under the tractor. He gave her the gun so that she can take them out. What? Oh, I thought he was going to kill Abraham. I was like, what? Pete shows up at Rick's house with a beer. Thanking him for helping his wife today. So what's he about? Let's see. Wow. Pete said to him, I'm sorry, I heard you lost your wife. And Rick got so emotional there. I'm telling you, he's not over that wound. He's not. And that's why around Jesse especially, and now Pete, it just brings him back into that space. It brings him back into that space. Wow. He got all caught up and emotional, just like he did with Jessie when she was talking to him at the party about things being better, not the same, but better with the people that is good. He's with these people and everything, but it's not like before. Whatever. I'm babbling, but she was babbling too about the situation she knows nothing about. But it got Rick caught up in his feelings about the past. Just like when he met her and she was cutting his hair, he was hella depressed because he was lost in those sensations. Pete just got through to him the same way. He's not in lust or love with Pete. And he got lost in the past, thinking about Lori and how he lost her. That PTSD is kicking through. He said the same thing that Jesse said, Pete, that we've lost stuff too. They're so clueless. So clueless. Wow. He says, let's be friends.
See you, Rick.
Shane and Rick were friends. I'm telling you. What? Look at that. When Pete leaves and Rick closes the door, Rick spots his ring and then he starts twirling it. Again, he's caught up. He's caught up.
See you, Rick.
Look at the focus on the wedding ring.
I take no responsibility for this.
See? That arc for Rick, the Jesse and Pete storyline, is about Rick reenacting the Lori and Shane storyline. He's going to try to redo, resave, protect Lori, and he's going to use Jesse for that do-over. Is he going to try and take her out? Eugene is talking to Tara. She has a head wound. I think he's going to try and take her out. Yep. He's so scared, but he's trying. Oh, so it's through his shoulder. Oh no, it's through his abdomen too. Oh my gosh. He's not going to survive that. He's not going to survive that. Oh, he left. Oh, he's confessing that he had left the people before. Oh, wow. The zombies. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Yikes. Oh, that's a terrible way to die. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's awful. I never remember seeing that death. That was terrible. Oh my gosh. Oh, Francine, that's her name. Oh, his name is Nicholas. Wow, that was a brutal death that Aiden got. I did not remember that death. I remember he died, but actually I didn't remember much about Aiden, but I think one of the prior episodes I did, he was reintroduced to me, and then to see him die like that. So I know he didn't make it out, but I just didn't remember what happened. So he was impaled. He couldn't get out, and they were trying to rescue him, and Aiden abandoned the rescue, and he got, woof. I thought Noah got the terrible death, but Noah got a terrible death too, but woof. The angle that the camera just overhead like this, looking at him being eaten alive, that's horrific. Wow. It's because everybody talks about Noah's demise. I guess because people didn't really care about Aiden, but that was horrific. What was Deanna and her husband talking about? I don't know. As Deanna is saying, every one of their group, Rick's group, is getting a position of power. It's like they're taking over Alexandria little by little. This kid came back. He brought her the chocolate. Did he break the... Oh? So he wants a gun to protect himself. Oh, so that's how Carol found out. Sam wanted a gun to protect someone, I guess his mom. So that's how she found out that Jesse was being abused. Yay! Eugene to the rescue! He's making noise to pull the zombies away from the door. And it's working! Look at him! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this. Oh my gosh, look at that. He's causing Noah's death. He's trying to escape for himself, and it's causing Noah to get pulled. Oh, look at him, the selfish coward. Oh my gosh. He's being eaten alive. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I think Noah's death, we remember that and it was horrific, but I think Aiden's death was worse because we saw the camera kept on him longer and we saw him experience being eaten. We just saw his expressions. The camera held on to his expression as he was being ripped and torn apart. With Noah, it was from the back and it was a bit clouded because of the glass. Oh my gosh. We didn't see all of it. We saw the terror on Noah's face for a brief time and we heard him screaming, but we didn't see the camera didn't stay on him long enough as it did with Aiden. Both were brutal and it's horrific and we care. Noah is one of our group and we've been with Noah longer, but Aiden's death was so brutal because of the way it was filmed. Wow, I didn't remember that at all. So that was horrific to see. It's like seeing it for the first time, which is, for me, I think it is because I don't remember that brutal death. Either I didn't pay attention or whatever, but that was horrific. Oh, Carol goes to see Pete.
Can I talk to Jesse?
What did she say to Pete? I sort of missed it there. Let's see. Oh, she's just saying she was with Sam early and he wasn't okay. And Pete was like, why wouldn't he be? So Pete is a drunk. Because when he went over to Rick, he was drinking. And then when Carol went to see him, he was like, yeah, he wasn't fully together. So he was a drunk and he's probably a mean drunk. He probably drinks and then hits and abuses Jesse. Eugene is all caught up over Tara, and I don't feel any emotions. I was like, oh my gosh, poor Tara. She may not wake up. I know she wakes up, so maybe that's why I don't feel anyway, but that scene didn't do anything for me. Look at this coward. Gabriel goes to Deanna to tell her not to trust Rick and his group. He's grateful to be here, but she made a mistake letting in the others. You see how selfish he is? He's all about himself. That's why I cannot stand Gabriel. And Maggie catches him. Selfishness is one of the worst traits to have. Oh, look at Rick playing with his ring. Carol comes to see him.
To make it out there as long as they did, they must have done things Rick said as much.
So she's saying Pete is hitting Jesse and maybe Sam too. So he may be also abusing the kids. And this one is saying Rick's group cannot be trusted. They're dangerous. You may believe they did what they had to do, that they were afraid when they'll put their lives above others. Isn't that what he's doing? He's putting himself above them. He's like, it's good that you let me in, but you shouldn't have let them in.
Why are you just now coming to me with this?
So when they're just positioning it against Gabriel telling Deanna to get rid of Rick's group, that they're dangerous, and then Carol telling Rick that Pete is dangerous. And now the van approaches. Oh my gosh, and her son doesn't return. Oh my gosh.
I know how this is going to go with Pete. There's only one way it can go. I have to kill him.
So guys, everything cut out just as the show ended. Just as Carol said to Rick that he has to kill Pete.